Hey, what's up guys, you get Gypsy and I'm back here with DPL week 1 for season 2, and this week we're going to be taking on AM22 in the opener for DPL. We are facing up against the Baguette gang, so the Frenchies. AM22 is a guy that I faced last DPL in the semi-finals. He was a really strong ORAS player in season 1, really kind of made a name for himself in the tournament. We had a really good match in semis, and yeah, so I was looking forward to facing him again. I didn't expect to face him in week 1, but yeah, it's definitely an exciting start to the season. He's got somewhat of a similar team that he spanned last season, though it lacks a few key members, but definitely similar mons in Aromatis, Donphan, Raikou, Victini. Yeah, so this should be an interesting one. Obviously put a lot of time into this build because I wanted to start off strong for the season for the Crit City boys. Yeah, we're going to jump into it and see how it goes. So I'm going to lead off with... Damn, that's nasty sound effects. Alright, so leading Taunt, I'm going to knock him turn 1. Now, I knock because I'm fully expecting Rash Raikou to creep a Excadrill, and he could potentially be scarfed to creep like an adamant Excadrill in the sand. But Aurasphere is really good on his Raikou to hit my Excadrill and my T-Tar. He's got little reason to not run Rash, honestly. He doesn't really need like Timid to outspeed anything of note on my team, bar like an unmegged Lop, which isn't clicking Fake Out. So yeah, I understand that he's more than likely going to be probably like a Carmine subset with Aurasphere and T-Bolt, really the perfect coverage for this team. And he gets a lot more power by running Rash here, so yeah, I'm going to take advantage of that turn 1 and just get the knockoff with Torn, removing his lefties, which is going to be big for wearing him down with Sound Shit, especially if he wants to sub up. But he's actually going to make the turn 1 sub play, which is, like I said, really nice. And I'm just going to superpower here, breaking the sub, which is going to let me, I am AV on Taunt, so I can easily live a T-Bolt. And I can just U-turn out the following turn. As his T-Bolt is going to do a nice chunk, but Taunt's regen is going to come in clutch, as I will be able to, heal up on stuff like Aromatis, maybe Donphan if I'm feeling like dodging an EQ. I can definitely get out of range of like a Scarf Dog Pulse from Hydra, which is kind of the main purpose of Taunt on this team. So I'm going to go into my Regini here, expecting him not to sub and instead to go for the Aurasphere, which is exactly the play he makes. So yeah, Reuni's going to come in here and tank that pretty nicely. As his Hydra is going to come in, I am going to fire off the Toxic. Now Toxic here was purely aimed at the Hydra. Victini to a lesser extent, mainly the Hydra, because this means that if he is a bulky defensive Hydra, which he could certainly be to take on my Excadrill, as his team is incredibly weak to the combination of Excadrill plus Lopunny. I feel like a bulky Hydra is a pretty safe bring here to assist Donphan in taking on my physical breakers. He really takes a lot of pressure off Donphan and means that Donphan can purely be used to check stuff like Lopunny, while Hydreigon can be used to take on my Excadrill. So getting the Toxic off with Reuni is a really nice lure for me, because it means that in Sand with Toxic, Hydra isn't going to be switching into Iron Heads comfortably. And yeah, like Scarf Mold Breaker EQ Drill is really solid in this game too. It also is a pretty viable win con, so having a bulky Hydra on AM side makes a lot of sense, and having that thing Toxic is just massive. So it also means that I can recover up with it with Reuni if I really need to, because I can live like a bulky Hydra's Dark Pulse. So this turn I'm going to switch out hard. I think I go into my my Taunt here, as he does just go for the T-Wave here. So he's going to reveal T-Wave, kind of implying again that he is a bulky Hydra, and that's reinforced by the fact that he's lefties. I'm just going to U-turn out here as he goes into his Plague Doctor, his Aromatis. Pretty clean name. I don't go into my Extra, I actually go into my Coolfish here. This game was played a while ago, but it's a good one. So yeah, he's going to go into his Aromatis as I get the momentum added to my Coolfish. I'm just going to throw up T-Spikes, because T-Spikes are amazing here. He did have a Vileplume on his team, and I had ways of capitalizing on Vileplume, ways of playing around it, and kind of abusing it actually with my Lopunny, but he didn't end up bringing it, so T-Spikes are going to be amazing in this matchup. Even if he does spin with Donphan, getting that thing Toxic is going to be amazing for Lop and Exca. Now that I've got Hydra Toxic as two kind of premier physical walls have been, or will be chipped. Obviously Aromatis could have Heal Bell, but I can pressure that thing not to get the Heal Bell off if need be. So he is going to go into Raikou here on my Coolfish. I'm just going to go hard Tar as he goes for the T-Bolt here. And we do eat that pretty well. I am Trouble Tar, I believe, on this. No, I'm not Trouble Tar, I'm Smooth Rock Tar, my bad. We chew, because T-Tar's broken. So yeah, Raiku's going to drop, and he's going to bring in his Teeny here. I'm just going to go out to my cool fish. I am helmet, and helmet chip on Teeny is going to be amazing for getting it in range of EQ from drill if he's like a much bulkier Teeny than what I'm expecting, as well as taking hit from lop, which is predominantly why I wanted to run helmet. Just putting him in lop range is going to be really important, because I'm actually a really nice lop. Doesn't actually get revealed this game, but yeah, so I won't go into it too much. But he's going to go out to Hydra here. Take the chip, get his lefties back, and take the toxic. So cancelling out his lefty is really nice for me, as he's going to fire off the D-pulse, and Torn eats that. That does very little to Torn, so I can just U-turn out here, as I believe he does just go for the... He goes back out into Aromatisse here, as I get the momentum once again back out into my drill this turn, I believe, as he is going to just hard switch out to Donphan this turn, I'm pretty sure. So I'm just going to click sub here, as Donphan does get toxicked, and this is really, really nice, my Exca. So if this thing wants to spin, it's going to be taking a hit from my Exca drill. It's going to be taking an EQ, which does 32%, which is really nice. He doesn't reveal to be leftovers, so he could be a pinch berry, though they don't really work the same in ORAS. He could be like more than likely he's Rocky Helmet, which is what I was expecting. Maybe some kind of resist berry, but yeah, he doesn't show lefties, so that kind of implies that his helmet, he kind of needs a helmet mon versus lop, in my opinion. I think his team's, like, if he just wants to play defensively with lefties mons versus lop, it's going to cost him. So I think he'd be much better off running a helmet on Donphan here. So that kind of is what I think he's going to be. I'm going to sub up this turn. It covers him making the switch out to Hydra on my EQ, as well as staying in and going for rocks or spin or something like that, as he does actually go for rocks here. So this turn I am going to go for the EQ as he brings in Hydra, and I'm going to be getting my lefties back behind sub, which is really nice for extra. It really makes it a nice means of abusing his Aromatisse and his Raikou. If he did bring it, I do have a lot of bulk on this set, but I am adamant, so I still creep like Scarf, Rash, Raikou, whilst being able to live stuff like Fire Blast from offensive Hydra without a boosting item, stuff like that. So yeah, he's going to go for the Iron. I'm going to go for the Iron Head and actually be faster than this Hydra, so he's like min speed Hydra, or not much speed at all, as he's going to go back out into his Donphan as a sub up again here. So this is really nice for me. I can just click Iron Head here, as he won't be able to get off the spin. I go for EQ. I think I went for EQ expecting him to potentially go into his Victini on an Iron Head aimed at hitting Hydra, but because Hydra was so low already and was revealed to be slower than my Excadrill, even if he did go Hydra, I could just, on my EQ, I could just Iron Head the following turn, and EQ obviously caught the Teeny, which is kind of one of his only ways of breaking sub now. He needs to get either Victini or Lopunny in to break my Exca's sub. They're the only things that outspeed, so he's going to go into his Lop here, and I think this turn I do just go for the sub. No, I think I attack here. I considered sub, just to get one extra round of poison damage off on his Lop, but the fact that he could be Drain Punch, which he actually does reveal to be, means that that won't be as effective as it would be if he was just like Power Punch or High Jump Kick. So we are going to get a nice chunk off with the EQ that does 76, and I am just going to go hard out into my Cool Fish here to get that Helmet Chip if he wants to stay in. If he wants to go to Hydra, that's all good with me. I know he's going to Roost here, so I'm just going to throw up a Spike in the face of a Hydreigon, as that really just takes Lop out of the game. So Lop's dead now, and Victini's going to be chipped even more. Aromatisse is going to be pressured. This is Gen 6, so Hydra can't run Defog. So yeah, this is looking like a wrap at this point. So I'm just going to U-turn out with Torn, as he just goes for the Dark Pulse just to whittle down my Torn a bit more. And this means I can bring back an extra and just click Iron Head. I think I could potentially sub here on his Lop stack. So I do sub just in case he wants to sack his Lopunny, but he just stays in and goes to the Superpower there. So nice play, not wanting me to get a sub up and allowing his Hydra to go down. So he's really only got Teeny and Aromatisse left, so I'm going to go back into my Cool Fish, as he really is forced to just click the V-Create here. And we take that really well, so he's Scarfed for sure on this Teeny. Pretty nice Revenger for stuff like Lopunny, and he could be Trick Scarf for my Reuniclus. So he's going to sack off his Lop as I just throw up another Spike. And he's going to bring in his Aromatisse here, as I am going to go hard out into my Excadrill. And he's going to make the prediction of going for the Hidden Power Fire here, which is nice for him, but I will be able to live another after that due to my lefties, and I can just click Iron Head here and take out his Aromatisse. So Excadrill really put in the work this game, so I don't want to let him go down to the Victini. Definitely put the team on its back. So I'm going to sack off Cool Fish, just getting that Helmet Chip and the Poison. and that he's going to take out Teeny. So yeah, that was a really fun game versus AM. I think I had a really strong game plan here. I just executed it, and it really worked out well. Unfortunately, didn't get to show off the lop, but maybe I'll bring something like that in a different match. But yeah, good game to AM. I know that was a pretty hard matchup for him because obviously Exca went in, and I just pressured his defensive ones early in Hydra and Donphan by getting those crucial toxic status off versus the Hydra, and then the T-Spike up versus the Donphan, which really just kind of put him on a timer and just meant that he couldn't really take on my physical attack. His love didn't even hit the field, so Eska just kind of went in. So yeah, definitely a fun one. I'm sure AM will bounce back after this week 1 loss and probably go on a nice win streak like he did last season. So yep, that was week 1. Crit City, unfortunately, we did not end up winning the week. It was a very close one. It went to game 7, and I think we got pretty unlucky in game 7. But yeah, so apart from that, it was a pretty good week overall. We had a few little mistakes that could have been fixed. We had one of our games where one of our boys brought the wrong team, like an older variant of the team. I'd sent him in like an updated variant which was like sub SD Mimikyu, and it would have won if he'd brought it, but that's all good. It's just a little slip up, and hopefully we can remedy that and win the coming weeks. So we are going to be down 0-1 in the starting week of DPL, but week 2 Crit City does face off against High Jump Kex, so that's the team with my boy Carson and John W on it. So good friends on that team, a very strong team, so we'll have to see how we go in that one. I'll be facing off against John next week, so yeah. I'm sure most of you guys have already seen the replays, but for those of you who haven't, look out for that. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Drop a like if you did, and let me know what you guys thought of the match in the comments, and I'll catch you next time.